So I think we unpacked the title actually
Mhm.
because there's how to handle people,
Mhm.
and then there's spreading, and then there's rumors. And I would
Mhm.
say that whole thing is how to handle people, and then there's spreading, and then there's rumors. And so I'm not going to bring up the word why you even bothered about it, because we know why is an endless thing, but I want to acknowledge the word why, because no, actually, tip number one is why. And when I say this is, why are you bothered about it? Why are you engaging in this? Why? And the why is an endless thing that you're never going to get an answer for.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome. I'm not going to sing.
Oh,
I'll leave the singing to intro us to Deb.
Yeah.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset podcast conversations, and we've got a really interesting one. Well, they're always interesting. They're always good.
They're goodies.
They are goodies. So I'm intrigued.
I'm
intrigued to see which rabbit holes and what stories do we go down into with this one. But before we get into,
I love that. What stories do we go down?
Well, you see, because it is about stories, right? We're going to talk about how to handle people spreading rumors.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that and rolling our sleeves up to share tips on that, is if you've been with us before, listeners, welcome. And if you haven't, welcome. We like to do this. We check in. And the check-in is we're looking at ourselves as physical, emotional, mental, spiritual beings. So that's the 4 levels of us, or the 4 pillars of us, our PEMS check-in, PEMS. And we're going to assess ourselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is like where everything is totally in balance, harmonious, peaceful, zen, calm, present. 10.
That to me is getting into fresh sheets at night.
Yes.
And you're like, that's
that
0.
That's the 0. And then 10 is the other end of the spectrum of like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
I've got to change my
sheets. There's no sheets on the bed.
Pulled them off and forgot to make them. Yeah, that's it.
And the truth is,
that's how easy it can be.
Yeah, truly. And truth is we do all move up and down that scale throughout our days. But this is just a really important part to just create some realization, some awareness. Where are you? How are you? And then staying present to what's going on for you. All that being said, my dear, where are you on that scale of 0 to 10?
I'm going to say actually a 2. And the reason I say a 2 is because I'm quite curious where this is going.
Yes. Me too.
Me too.
Me too. I'm a 2. Me too.
She's a 2. Because I am curious as to where this is going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. Yep. So I would say I'm centered and I'm ready for this, but I'm curious. There's that level of curiosity. Okay.
Okay. And so, dear listeners, we are going to share a number of tips and techniques and ideas and mindset shifts on this topic of how to handle people spreading rumors. So we encourage you to get your pen, pencil, or digital note taker and get
Did you say
strapped in.
digital or did you?
Digital.
I
What?
didn't even think you said digital. I think you said something else, and I was like, okay,
I said digital note taker.
digital.
That's just my accent, I
Clearly.
guess.
Yeah,
guess.
it's definitely her accent. 100% it's her accent. Yeah. Where are we going to kick this one off? How to handle people spreading rumors?
I was going to kick it over to you. Say, so how do we handle people spreading rumors? What does that mean to you?
You
what
kill
does that
them.
mean?
You don't take them out.
Okay, that's it.
No,
We're
you
done.
don't. You're
That's
done.
it. We're
And
done.
that's the end of that. Yeah. And if you want to know how to do that, that's next week's podcast. No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
No.
So I think we unpacked the title actually,
Mhm.
because there's how to handle people,
Mhm.
and then there's spreading, and then there's rumors. And I would say that whole thing is how to handle people, and then there's spreading, and then there's rumors. And so I'm not going to bring up the word why you even bothered about it, because we know why is an endless thing, but I want to acknowledge the word why, because actually tip number one is why. And when I say this is, why are you bothered about it? Why are you engaging in this? Why? And the why is an endless thing that you're never going to get an answer for.
Mhm.
I just have to say that. So even if you get them in a mood and you say, why did you do this? Depending on their PEMS, they'll tell you. Now, if you ask them tomorrow, if they've had no sleep or whatever, or they're drinking alcohol or whatever, and you ask them, why did you do that? You're going to get a different answer.
Mhm.
So be aware of the why question, and know that you're never going to get an honest, transparent answer to this.
To the question of somebody spreading a rumor.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Don't forget to add that part. Is why are they doing this? Why are they doing this to me? And I'm going to ask them, why did they do it? Why did they do it? Why are they? Just when that why comes into your mind, you must cross it out.
Right.
Because the why is the hamster wheel running round and round and round and round and round and round and round, that you do not get an honest, transparent answer. Even if you drug them up to get that answer, you're still not going to get the right answer anyway. So when it comes up to the why, just let it go. Why? Don't go down that journey. Is that loud and clear enough?
Yeah, no, I like that. And it's a really good place for us to start, because my next tip leading on straight from that is, so we're going to be, depends on what it is, right? We might feel really incensed or like, OMG, why is that person doing that?
Why would they bother?
I'm going to reference the 4 agreements right here.
Oh,
The
of course.
2 that are superbly important in this is the agreement number 1 is to be impeccable with your word. So if somebody's spreading rumors, check in with you. Are you talking smack or repeating a story that you heard somebody else say? And this is not about shaming you or blaming you or anything. It's just this check-in.
So that's owning it where you're doing it anyway, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. But then the other one that's super, super important, but this is what I'm saying, out of the 4 agreements, these 2 I'm saying are the most
I know the one you're going
important.
to say.
Don't take things personally. Because if somebody else is making up stories or creating bad energy about you, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of like, let them off the hook. Just take yourself out of that equation. Take the high road. Kind of just keep doing your impeccability. Continue being in integrity and being completely truthfully you.
Yeah.
Right.
The 4 agreements, in fact, I don't think we talked about that one last week, but they often come into
they do.
our conversation more than most. But yeah, all 4 agreements work, but definitely be impeccable with your words and don't take things personally.
Yeah.
And you may find that a little bit of a challenge, but when you get yourself into that consistency and flow, it's not as challenging as what you think.
Right.
I'm telling Moira, and Moira's like, yeah, I know that, Deborah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually telling, like, so I'm eyeballing Moira in the video here. She's like, yep, I hear you.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, the 4 agreements are a beautiful way to look at things, and if you can remember those, that's insightful.
And it's a powerful way to do this, what we're talking about, to handle that, because let's face it, it's going to happen.
Well, it shuts it down.
It happens to everybody, and it does shut it down. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and so that don't take anything personally is don't get hurt that your family is saying these things about you. Don't get hurt that your friends are saying things about you. Like, don't, like, this is their journey. And so I'm going to actually pull back to stay in your zone of genius, because when you're and I say that because when you're in your zone of genius and you're focusing on you and serving, and I'm going to say serve the world, when you have something that's far greater than yourself and you're serving the world, the people who are talking about you and spreading rumors are just showing their integrity. And there's numerous reasons, jealousy, and like there's numerous reasons. But the truth is,
big one.
Yeah. But when you're in your zone of genius, when people start spreading rumors, it actually falls away. Because, how do I put this? So when you're in your zone of genius and you're doing what you love, and people are going, Deborah's no good at this, and Deborah's no good at this, and she did this, and this. It's not affecting me because I'm literally serving the world with my knowledge. So people go, she's too pricey. She swears. She laughs at people. And it's like, okay, well, actually, the truth is all those things you're saying about me. Yeah, people do have an opinion. Yeah. So, well, that's actually another one, is own who you are. So I'm actually gonna put that, but I'm gonna go back to this one. I'm gonna put own who you are. But when people are saying that stuff about me, and I just go back to serving the world, I serve the world, and I serve it at a different level, because the more I hear that, so you're using that fuel to light your flame, basically. The more you hear that, you're not doing it in an a-hole way. You're actually just going, okay. But when you're serving the world and you're staying in your zone of genius, that stuff doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Like when people say that stuff, I'm like, okay, like I'm just gonna, I haven't got time for this. I would rather jump on a client call and help someone, and it's not about proving myself right or proving this other person right or anything. It's about just staying in my zone of genius and serving and serving and serving with value. With value.
And being comfortable in your own skin, right?
Yeah. So shining my bright, so goddamn light that these people who are spreading rumors have to put glasses on.
There. Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
But that because when they start saying that stuff, you're just like, please, I've got time for this.
Yeah.
I'm jumping on a client call. I'm going to help this person who just went from A to B, or went from a 10 to a 0.
Yeah. So, because this actually is in alignment with a tip that I just wrote down, and this is something that I've often said to my clients and students to maybe embrace this as a mantra for yourself, is something to the effect of, other people's opinion of me is none of my business.
Because I've heard that, and I've always struggled with that. Not so much now, but that used to be one of my things. I'd say it, and I'd go, but it is. But it is. But now I get it. Yeah.
Where I'm coming from with that is that everybody's going to have an opinion of me, good or bad. They're going to have an opinion, or an assessment, or a judgment, or a discernment, or even a made-up story. Like, I have somebody that used to make up these most outlandish stories about me, and then tell me what the story was. And I'd be like, really? How on earth did you come up with that? But okay, but it's none of my business. And so I'm not going, when somebody comes and does that kind of thing to me, I'll hear them out. Yeah. But I've just then found out that you're not my person, and I'm not going to be telling you what really is going on within me. right? So it's like that's the inner circle of me, that person who makes up stories. They're not coming in close because
Yeah, I
their
think,
opinion is none of my business. That's it.
and I'm jumping I'm jumping in on the when you, and I'm jumping in on the word integrity.
Mhm.
It's actually another tip. I was going to add this one to your one, but it's actually integrity because, okay, when you're in an intimate relationship with somebody and they tell you stuff,
Right.
and they tell you stuff, it's not your news to share.
Right.
And so when you break up with them, you go, well, did you know he's this? Did you know she's this? Did you know they've done this? Like, that's not your new, that was
That's
in
not
a
your
love
story to
bubble.
share. Mhm.
Yeah, that was in your bubble that you had together.
Mhm.
Don't open that bubble to other people. And I think integrity would be the word around that. I've actually got goosey, so I wonder what's going on in my body that I'm thinking, where have I done that?
Mhm.
Or maybe I just want to really get this point across. It's not your, I say to people, it's not your news to share. It's not, but
Yeah.
when you're in an intimate relationship and you break up with someone and they want to spread that stuff around you, just let them, because people who hear that stuff will honestly just go, well, I'd like to think those people just go, wow, that person's really crazy. Why would you even say that stuff, that they like this, and this, or doing it? I would stop somebody if someone's,
Yeah.
drama. I wouldn't engage in that. And I'd say, that's not your news to share, or I'd be quiet if I were you, because I don't need to hear that. And that's not really nice, because I'm sure they've got stuff on you. But so I guess hold people accountable. I guess that's the other thing of that integrity,
Mhm.
is when people say that to you, hold them accountable and just say, don't feed into the drama. How do I put in all that? I'm very firm on what I tell you in my world when I'm personal. If I'm in an intimate world, that stays with you and me forever until you die.
Yep.
And
Well, then that's the truth for my clients too, because we hold space to people to be open and vulnerable and authentic. And if you then are going to go, right, guess what this person just said?
Yeah, well, actually, I have had coaches who've done that. They've gone, I work with, and I don't tell people. And so if I'm working with Moira, I won't tell you I'm working with Moira.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I never have. No, actually, I have, like, literally every time we get on a podcast before. But I don't tell people, I'm working with Moira and she pays me this much money.
Yeah.
I don't even tell people that we're working together. If you want to say, hey, I heard you're working with Moira, I go, oh yeah. And I won't say yes or no. Like, I won't, that's mine to keep that integrity between us.
Yep.
Definitely, because I'm in a confidential agreement anyway. But
That's
I believe that stuff, I believe that stuff is withheld. But clearly it doesn't happen, because that's why people spread rumors. So if you hear someone talking smack about someone, make them accountable. Like, don't jump in on that drama. Actually make them accountable and go, hey, back off, buddy. This is, that's not cool. Make them accountable. What are you going to lose? You're going to lose a friend who's going to talk about you behind your back? They're going to spread bigger rumors about you? Okay, they're not your people. They're not your people.
Because they might, but then it's not about you. It's totally not about you. But you see, what you're doing when you're saying hold them accountable is you're saying to them, be impeccable with your word.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you're not being impeccable if you go, guess what I just found out about this person. That's just I'm just so not wired. In fact, that's actually something that I feel like maybe the hackles go up for me, is that when I hear people, sharing gossipy type stuff.
Oh my God, in a coaching circle, people do that.
Leave.
You literally hear me go, beep, beep, beep. I'm out of that conversation.
Me too.
And I really dislike coaches who go, I'm working with so-and-so. That person was on TV and their problem's this. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's so not my thing.
Yeah.
But like we say, we know, and this is the thing too, is we all know that everybody that we come into contact with, like, look at what Facebook does and what social media does. It's kind of like we're all in this big fishbowl. and being seen. And some people are liking what we do, and some people are not. And some people are going, I think I could do it way better, or hey, let me jump on your bandwagon and
let me say, yeah. And I guess that thing is people hold on to stories from years ago at school. They did this and this. It's like, okay, well, I'm a good 35 years out of school, by the way, so who I was 35 years ago. But I think the other thing is own who you are.
Yeah.
And I call it own your shit, ownership, or own your ship. Maybe we'll do that. Own your ship, where you're driving to, because recently someone said to me, "Oh, I'm not gonna go to her because she's fat."
Oh,
and I was
gosh.
like, okay. Oh, okay. So clearly I have a what is it, BSI? What is it? What is that body mass thing? Yeah, it's different to some people. Okay.
BMI.
But BMI, yeah, BSI. I'm not going to even know.
There's no S in there.
Okay. See, there you go. I clearly listen. But yeah, I am fat. I am fat too. Some people, and some people
me too.
not.
Actually, so am I.
Like, yeah, well, you're ginormous. There you go. So you're. But if my partner's 5'2", if Moira's standing next to my partner,
I'm going to be a jolly
Moira
giant
is ginormous.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, because I'm 6 foot tall, by the way.
Yeah, she's like a whole few Subway sandwiches more than my partner. But that's it. Just own who you are. So when someone says you're fat, I'm not going to take offense to that, because yes, I definitely am a different shape to others. It's like, oh, you're blonde. You don't know what you're doing. You're a girl. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Okay,
Thanks.
yes, I am blonde. Thanks for alerting me to the fact. Oh, I'm a girl. Thanks for alerting me to the fact. Oh, you're this, you're that. Okay, yep. Thanks for alerting me to the fact.
Label. That's all they are.
I know.
They're just labels.
They are. So just go, okay, yeah, I do that. Yep, there's times I've done that. Yep, that's who I am. And it just it shuts down that firing squad, because you're just like, okay, yeah. And I want to say, is that the best you've got? But I do often think it in my head. Yeah, in my head I go, oh, is that the best you've got? And then I'm like, Deborah, come on, don't ask the universe to up this level here. But just own your ship. Own your ship that you're driving
like that
on.
One. I actually have often said the authorship. Take authorship for your life, because you are the author of it, right? So if you don't like it, you can keep scripting the new story. Don't listen to other people's stories about you. You're writing and rewriting as necessary, right?
Yeah.
So authorship and ownership.
Stay in your zone of genius, and which is a bit of that, but own the author of your own ship, captain of your own boat. Yep. What floats your boat? Yep. There's so many different ways of saying it, but I think that's really important. And when people go, "Oh, you're just a girl,"
you're just a girl.
I'm actually not. I'm a lady, but I'll take girl. Thank you. I'll take girl. It's the same thing to me. But but it is. You're blonde. You're. I actually didn't even know if they still do those blonde jokes anymore. I still have them. I used to work in a bar, so one person would go, "Oh, I've got a blonde joke for you," and I go, "Great," and they'd be a male, because they'd be the male. Yeah. And well, I was in a sports bar, which was predominantly males, and so they'd have one blonde joke, and I'd fire 10, 15 male jokes, and they'd just look at me like, "That's not cool. That's not cool. You've offended me. You've hurt me." I'd be like, "You just fired a joke at me. And just because I fired a machine gun back at you, just because I up the ante, do you not think you're the first person to come and said, 'Oh, you're a blonde'? No shit, Sherlock." Or no shite, Sherlock, because clearly we can sound blonde. Like, wow, you don't need glasses to know that, do you?
Yeah.
But own who you are. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop talking about that then. Yeah.
My next
Tell me something I don't know that I have to own. Yeah.
My next tip I want us to go into is what I've written down is to avoid generalities. And what I mean by this is, yes, I think I have this kind of conversation with certain clients where they'll tell me something and then they'll justify it, but by saying, "Oh, but everybody says this." Oh, Moira, everybody knows that. And I'm like, who is this everybody? Number one.
Well, it was Moira telling me oranges and apples, and I'd never heard that. She's like,
yeah.
But I was like, no, I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
I heard that.
But yeah.
But yes, so when because this idea of people spreading rumors, if you happen to hear a rumor and then you take that in internalize it and go, well, everybody says this. And then you repeat it to somebody else. Oh, well, I can't do this because everybody says that I should be doing it this way. I'm like, really? Why? Why? Have you actually sat down and broken it apart and said, do I resonate with this? Is this true for me? Because that's what I'm saying, is that if somebody says to me, well, everybody knows this, and it's something that I've never heard or I haven't come across, then I'm like, actually, no, that's not true, because I think I'm part of everybody.
That often happens to Moira and I. She'll go, have you heard this quote? It's like when I first started my work, people go, have you heard of NLP? And I go, no. And they go, but you're 3 years into the DeMartini method. You haven't heard of NLP? And I'm like, no. They're like, but everyone knows that. And I'm like, well, clearly I don't.
Yes.
Clearly I don't. And then I'm like, oh, God, I have to research NLP now, just because people are starting to ask me. And they try and tell me, and I'm like, no, just let me research it seriously. Yeah. And then I researched and went, okay, now I know. So when people go, you heard of NLP? Yeah, I have. That's not my jam.
Neuro-linguistic programming, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Google that one. But you're right. Everybody knows it. Everyone says this. No, because I'm okay living in my bubble of what I understand and what I know.
Yeah. And so, because there's a pressure here, it's that everybody, or it always happens this way. Like,
no,
I don't think so.
Always. They always do this to me. Yeah. And that is a disease-ridden word. They always do that to me. It's like, okay, you need to change your thinking, honey, because like if you're only looking at the black and white version of everything, there's going to be a problem with you down the track.
Absolutely. And it's that when people do that, they're actually not staying present to what is, because they're kind of checked out and speeded on down the timeline saying, well, it's
they're jumping on someone else's they're jumping on someone else's boat, haven't they, really?
Yeah. There's no point in engaging what's happening right here, right now, because I know how it's going to go. I've figured it all out. So I'm I've leaped into the future, which actually, you know what, when we do that, it creates more anxiety. Did you know that? Of course you knew
100%.
that.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know, I wouldn't put it that way, but 100% when you said that, I'm like, yeah, that's a given. Yeah. The one I'm going to come up with is, and I haven't said it in a while, is worthy opponent.
I like this one. I used this I used this with somebody just this last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And in fact, I did that too. When I was talking to someone in the car, and he goes, I hear you say worthy opponent, but I know they're not, but I'm still going to poke. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I love that you hear me, but you're not really hearing me. And a worthy opponent. Now, I'm not talking about family members, or I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about anyone, no matter where they are in your world. Are they a worthy opponent? Because you can scream black and blue. You can type black and blue. And I say black and blue because you literally go black and blue. Your fingers are black and you're blue. And you can do all these things and you just go black and blue into your face until you give that last breath, and they're like, oh yeah, okay. But they're not going to hear you. So you've got to choose, are they a worthy opponent to actually engage and have this conversation over confrontation, because that's all it is, or is it not? So just be aware of that worthy opponent, because worthy opponent is financially, if someone's slagging you, you're going to get a cease and desist letter from the lawyer. Is it worth that whole thing?
Yep.
Emotionally.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
So, I say to people, if you feel like it's going to cost you $500 and it's going to weigh on your head that people are saying that, do a cease and desist and just see where it goes. That, because $500 for a lawyer's letter, and I know someone just did this recently in New Zealand, it was $450. So I don't know how much they are wherever you are in the world, but a cease and desist letter usually just stops it. Sometimes it doesn't. You've got to have the evidence, but it can also poke the bear. So are they a worthy opponent? Because is this costing you emotionally so much that you just can outsource this to somebody else, or actually outsourcing to someone else is probably actually another thing. That's another tip. Outsource to Moira or I, or a lawyer. Outsource emotionally, and yes, it may cost you financially, but
to get the
but to get that result,
yes,
totally.
To
but
get the
are they
result,
worthy of?
Is it worthwhile your energy, right?
Yeah, because doing all this, I'm having a problem with the PO box in New Zealand, that they've just actually said to me, oh, look, we're really sorry, we stuffed up. Can you give us evidence of your last 4 years of transactions of where you've paid us?
Oh, goodness.
To get a refund of $65. Oh. And I'm like, you want my team
let me get right on that. No.
Yeah, sure, I'll spend a day or get my team at whatever hourly rate to get that for that. And I'm like, what? No. So financially, is that worth it? As a point, yes, I'm going to make you pay, but financially, is it really worth it? No, for $65. What you want me to show? Like they've acknowledged their stuff up. That's it. Like, I'm not for $65. But so are they a worthy opponent? Yes, they were. Did I go for that? But remember that there's emotional to financial and all the things that are going, and sometimes often just getting that cease and desist just stops it.
Yes, because you're
sometimes
but you see, what I'm just feeling into the energy of that is that we all have the right to stand up for ourselves, and so sometimes it's just saying, hey, this is my boundary, you just crossed it by repeating that or by putting out this kind of information, so stop. And sometimes that does mean that you have to engage a lawyer or have an official statement of that sort saying, done, stop doing that, right?
Yeah, I've got a lady that I just actually so many times how to handle people spreading rumors. I just want to put on Facebook, you're actually a horrible person and your business sucks, and I want to put all that on there, and I'm like, Deborah, really? Like, seriously, Deborah, what for this? She's she's had our pool cleaner for, I don't know, since last year, and it's driving me insane. Emotionally, it's even just saying it. But I do. Even last night I went to bed and went, which is even funnier that we're recording this day, because I was like, fine, I'm going to put it on a Facebook page, and I wouldn't do that. But I was just like, right, I'm just actually going to go, now I'm just like to know, what is she really like behind the scenes? Is she? And I'm like, Deborah, really? Is that how you're gonna do it? So yeah, that was me last night going to bed, and I was like, come on, Deborah, pull your head. And I'm like, no, she needs to pay. She needs to pay. So if you're that one who thinks someone else needs to pay, pull your freaking head in, Deborah Cooper.
That's so funny.
But outsource that emotionally to Moira or I,
Definitely.
And if I talk to Moira off here, she'd just go, come on, Deborah, let's look at the bigger picture here. And I'd be laughing in 2 minutes.
And then it would be done. But you know, this is a really good point, because there are certain things where people that I've worked with who will have a reaction like, oh, this happened and it's really offended them or really upset them. And so my advice for people to do that is, don't stuff down that feeling. Because if you're
definitely don't hide from it.
Or if you're indignant or you're incensed about this lack of service or this terrible thing, then you need to vent it to someone who can hold space for you. So if you can ask somebody, are you willing to hold space for me to have this wee temper tantrum? Or you
be careful who you give that to. I'm just going to jump there, because if you give it to a friend who's been through it before and they spent 4 years on a court case, then they're going to encourage you to go down. So their stories, be careful of their past stories. Okay, you can carry on now, but I'm just going to, I want to put that in there, because my boyfriend cheated on me 20 years ago and I'm still holding on to it. So if I hear anyone cheat, I go, right, let's take them to the cleaners. It's like, no.
Yeah, no, it's like that. It's I shared with you before we hopped on air, where I've got a client who's considering going on antidepressants because she's going through a really, really tough time. And I really support and agree, and I'm holding space for her to do that. But she's talking to other friends and friends who are saying, oh, no, don't do it. It'll be the worst thing ever. It'll take you forever. You'll be addicted to them forever.
And that's their past stories and what they've attached to. Yeah, so definitely unpack it, but just
But so to your point, is you're quite right, is to be very aware of who you're requesting to hold space. They need to
Well,
be
that's
able
easy.
to be
You just contact Deborah or Moira.
exactly. They need to be neutral and non-judgmental so that you can do that. And if that's not an option, then what I would invite you to do is to write it out as if you're writing a letter to that person, and then burn it.
If you're going to do that in an email, don't put the don't put their details in the email.
Not email. No, it needs to be done. It needs to be done like a physical, handwritten, or typed if you want to, and print it out. But then you burn it, and you do it as a symbolic way of saying, "I'm transmuting this. I'm letting this go. I'm releasing this out of my own energy, cleansing it out." It actually works beautifully. I've actually done that as part of my own healing journey. I've written quite a few of those, and by the way, you really be honest and curse and swear and make up words and just really allow it to come out. And then once you feel like you've got it all expressed, then you turn it into a wee bit of a ritual where you say, "Okay, this is it. I've cleansed it out of my system, and now the smoke is and the fire is really clearing it out."
Well, how often do you have a problem and you just say to your friend, or I say to Moira, "Oh, la la la," and she's like, "Well, just do that," and you're like, "Oh, do you know how long I've sat on this for? Do you know how?" And and you're just like, "Why didn't I think about that? Why didn't I think about that?" Wow,
because
that's so
you were
easy.
in it. Because
that's right. Because you were in that tornado. Racing around trying to go from left to right to front to back to, instead of, what is it? What do you say?
Come to the center.
Yeah,
if you're in a tornado, you can do it. A hurricane. You're in a hurricane. Come to the center. Come to the center.
Yeah, actually, tornado, they move, don't they?
Yes, they do. That's why I had to change it.
You have to run. Yeah. But I do like that. Yeah, don't acknowledge. Yeah, don't stuff your feelings down, because they're essential.
Yeah. And they don't go away if you stuff them down. They kind of percolate and fester and get yuggly. It's yuggly. I don't know what yuggly is, but
yuggly, but it's yucky and ugly. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can absolutely feel the yuggly side of it. Yeah, we're totally it. We're wrapping up time here, and I'm conscious of our time. Is there another one that we put? Because I like that last one. That last one sort of.
I thought that was good.
Well, let's wrap this. Shall we wrap this up?
Yes,
because I think that
the yuggly.
Yeah, the yuggly. Yeah, the yuggly. Yeah, the yuggly. That's going to be my new word. That's going to be my new word. So, how to handle people spreading rumors. Now, if you were driving, because last week I was driving and I was listening to a podcast and I had to pull over so many blooming times. So if you're driving, that's great, but just know that you can re-listen to this and just capture the last 10 minutes or so to get these without the stories, the tips.
Just the tips.
Don't use your digital note taker as you're driving, or tell the people in the car, take notes of these things, honey. So how to handle people spreading rumors. Grab that pen, paper, digital note taker. Moira, let's kick this off. Number one
was about the why. To look at the why, and so we know that you're going to do that. You come across somebody spreading rumor, and you think, why are you doing that? So the thing is,
why are you doing it? Why did I not see this earlier? Why
are you making smack up about me?
But what have I done? I was really good to you.
But also, so we're suggesting let that go and ask yourself, how come you're so bothered about it? Can you just release that? How come you're so bothered about it?
Got another tip. And I just got another tip, and I have to put at the very end of it. But anyway.
That's how it rolls.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
But it's just to honor that, like not criticize yourself or feel like there's something wrong. It's like, nope, that is going to quite often be the knee-jerk reaction, right? But then just...
Well, you do. Why? I've been so nice to them. I've never said anything about them.
I've always been much for them.
Yeah, I've given them my last breath, and then they do this. Why? Why? Yeah. why are you just going to go down an endless path?
Yeah.
The next tip I had was the 4 agreements.
Yeah.
And we know there's 4 agreements, but the 2 that were very important here were be impeccable with your words.
Yeah.
Be impeccable with your words all the time, where you go, what you say internally and externally, not just internally, which is clearly what sits in your head.
Yep.
Yeah. And what comes out your mouth. And then the other one is don't take things personally, because you don't know what's going on in their world. You don't know what stories are happening. You just don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and you'll never know, because that goes back to that why question. So the 4 agreements: be impeccable with your words and don't take things personally.
Yeah. And so sometimes with that, don't take things personally, you can repeat in your mind, it's not about me. Just it
I
isn't
like
about
that.
me. That's not about
That's
me.
not of it.
Which actually
That's not my monkey, not my circus, isn't it? It's not my, what is that one? It's not my monkey,
Yeah.
it's not my circus. Even if they're talking about it, it's like, it's not my monkey, it's not my circus. Let
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is going into this other tip that I had shared, was that other people's opinion is not my business. It's the same thing, right? Because, and this is why I brought this in as a separate tip, was because we all know that everybody's going to have an opinion, good or bad, up or down, right or wrong, in alignment with what we think or not. Everybody's going to have an opinion, but it's none of our business. We need to really come home to, what's your opinion of you? How do you think about you? And we want to be really working on loving acceptance of all of who we are and walk with that, being impeccable with our word, of course, right?
Yeah. And I love that. None of my business. No, please. And from that, I talked about stay in your zone of genius. So when you're shining so brightly, and you're serving the world and you're serving people around with incredible value, all the gossip or the spreading rumors or whatever you want to label it, all that crap, because that wasted energy doesn't affect you, because you're literally staying in your zone of genius and you are shining so bright that
everybody needs sunglasses.
Everyone needs sunglasses, big thick sunglasses, because you're doing what you love, and that other stuff just falls away because you don't have time to engage in that. I'm going to say drama, because it is drama.
It is drama.
It's a drama.
Yeah.
So stay in your zone of genius.
Yes. So that was where we talked about owning who you are and taking ownership and authorship for your own path through, right? Serving the world, shining your light. I just like ownership and authorship together. I think they're cool.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And that's the labels. That's that labels, Okay. Own who you are. Yeah, Deborah, I am blonde, and Deborah, I am a girl. And yes, I worked in a bar. And so that was my scenario of me talking about men would give you one blonde joke and you'd fire 10 to 15, actually probably usually more than that. And they'd have to listen before I gave them a drink. They'd have to listen to all my jokes and laugh, otherwise they wouldn't get served. I was a pretty straight to the point kind of girl, but I owned myself. That was it. I was the only female bar lady in a sports bar, so I definitely owned. And they'd go, oh, blonde, let's pick on her. Insert evil laugh here. But it's just a label. That's it. That's just a label. My tip was integrity. And that goes back to that, don't be impeccable with your words, is when people are spreading rumors about others, it's not your news to share. And it is gossip. I go back to that gossip. So if you're in an intimate relationship, this is not your news to share, to say, did you know she did this, or did you know he did this? And it's not your news to share. Like, definitely be impeccable with your words, but hold your integrity, because that was done in a bubble. That was a safe environment. And when you separate from somebody, whether it's intimate or not, and I'm going to use the word should, you should keep your words to yourself. Like, keep that with yourself. Or did you know they did this, this? No. So if people are saying that stuff, hold them accountable. Just go, that's not yours to share. I'm not interested in that. Let that go. Come on. So come on, buddy. You're better than that.
Get out of that environment.
Because it's a yuggly place to be.
It is. I think that's a great word. I'm going to use that
I think
lots more now.
I've actually got it written
Yuggly.
down. Like yuggly. It's a yuggly place to be. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, totally.
The next one that I have is avoid generalities. So, we've talked about when people say, oh, everybody thinks this, or everybody says this, or it always goes this way, or it always happens like this. Those are, it's actually almost like
that's a
talking smack
yuggly
to yourself.
That's yuggly on its own.
It is. Definitely. It is.
Yeah.
But it's and this is what I was talking about a wee bit. Like if I say, oh, it's always going to happen this way, I'm knocking myself out of the present moment and not actually allowing myself to stay present to the awesomeness that could be happening right now. And I might miss it if I'm not just allowing myself to be and not getting caught up in a rumor that my own thinking process is creating by this generality, right?
Well, it's black and white thinking, and it's either swipe left or swipe right. It's like there is no in between. Yep. It's literally black and white thinking.
Do you know how
this always happens to others?
Do you know how many shades of grey there are?
Well, there's 50 Shades of Grey, apparently.
That's right. I was just thinking, oh, whoops, I stepped right into that one.
And I never watched that, and I never read the book.
No, neither
did
I.
Saying.
I just know it as a title.
Yeah, I did buy the books and then loaned it to somebody, and then they gave them back to me. The pages were, I was like, oh no, I'm not, no, pages are all no. So, but there are 50 Shades of Grey. There's probably way more.
I think there's probably a lot more.
Probably way more.
Yeah, in the spectrum of things.
Yeah, definitely. But I do like that the generalities. My next one is worthy opponent. Yes. Worthy opponent.
Yep. Such an important one, and this applies to so many different things, right? But this one in particular.
Because this is where it gets to. But when you talk about this worthy opponent, I'm jumping back to number one again. Don't jump into the why. But they're a family member. I need to talk to them about this. But they're this is my partner who's saying this, so I need to talk. Are they a worthy opponent who's going to hear what you're going to hear? Because if they're not,
then it's not worth your energy.
It's just worthy opponent is just. That's all it needs. Are they a worthy opponent?
Yep. The next one we talked about was outsourcing to get support. Like if it really is a situation where it's affecting your business or affecting your profession, or that it's become big. This is when we were saying maybe you need to get a cease and desist statement on, or you maybe need to get some professional guidance to get through how to best navigate it. So outsourcing to a specialist, or outsourcing to get some loving coaching from somebody like me or Deb.
Yeah, totally. Well, we know when people go, this is happening and I'm trying to do this, and the whole thing, it's like, okay, so this is costing you how much emotionally? Well, I haven't slept for 38 days.
Right.
Okay, right. So maybe we just want to get some guidance on that, because if you haven't slept for 38 days, which I think would be unrealistic, but I did exaggerate. Actually, there's probably some people who have got some real stress levels, and if they're probably in that rumor state, they probably feel like they haven't slept for 38 days.
Yeah.
Would be, because I tell you what, if you don't do any of these tips, I tell you what, you're going to be a basket case to be around, and nobody will want to be near you. They'll be like, oh. What's she going to turn up with today? What, she's still going to tell that same story. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah. So outsource emotionally to us or anything, which is actually a perfect one as I jump to the next one, which is don't stuff your feelings.
Yeah.
Like don't stuff, and so, and I say this: seen, heard, and acknowledged. So you want to be seen, you want to be heard, and you want to be acknowledged. But jumping back to their worthy opponent, are they going to see, hear, and acknowledge you? Probably not. So that's where you're going to unpack it with Moira or myself. Like, find that professional, but be aware of other people's stories.
Yeah.
Because if you go, oh, well, let me tell you a story. This is what happened. Oh, they've been through it before, so I'm going to talk to them. No. And you talked about your lovely lady who's looking at taking medication just to top her up and get her through. And everyone's like, don't do that, because they've got all their own stories attached to it.
Their story. Yeah. They're not, and they're being actually very judgmental of the person who's going through the thing, because they don't know.
Well, they also may think they're doing right. They may think, oh, I don't want her to do this because I've had this traumatic experience. Okay, yes, but you may not be helping this person. You may be clouding their judgment because you've got your own story. So yeah, I'm just going to say Moira on myself.
So just being very aware of who you're asking to hold space for it.
Yeah.
And on that one about
that's our forte.
venting.
Anyway,
yes, it is. But that's when I suggested that if you don't have access to somebody you can speak it out to, then write it down, like physically write it down on a piece of paper, pen and paper, until you've written it all and curse and swear as much as you need to really vent it out, and then burn the piece of paper with the idea that you are releasing yourself from it. It's really, and I can attest to the power of that. I've done it quite a few times in my own healing journey.
Yeah. I love that. And you must set the intention it's going to work.
Yes.
As well, with anything.
Yes, most definitely.
And I've got one more that I added after the ugly is gratitude.
Oh yes.
How did we miss that?
How did we miss that?
How did we miss that?
Well, thank goodness
I
you
know.
got that.
I know. I went, oh my gosh, gratitude. How is this serving you?
Yeah.
How is this enhancing your world?
Here? What's the gift here? Thanks for bringing this to my awareness. Yeah, I love that.
So even step one, just gratitude. List 50 things that then we don't have to do the whole podcast. But gratitude, write down 10 things, write down 5 things, write down 20 things, write down 50, write down 100, write down 300 things that this is giving, the gift it's giving you. It's it's getting you to talk to somebody. It's getting you to
really doing good on making up words this time round.
We're totally there. But what is this beautiful gift that what they're doing is, because that just shifts in your heart, and it pretty much actually shuts the whole thing down.
It really does.
Because
it is a gift. There is a gift. You just have to spot it. Yes.
Yeah. And when you feel that in your heart, not in your head, that's where it shifts most. Because you can do so many into your head. That's great. But when it shifts in your heart, you're like, okay.
And that's down to a 0.
I know. I was just going to say, that's what takes you from that 10 to that 0 is literally, how is this serving me? How is this enhancing my world? What is this gift it's giving me? Yeah.
I love that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that ended on that one just as well. We ended on that one, because if you didn't go from whatever number you're at to a 0, and it's not hard. It's not hard just to do it. But please reach out to Moira or myself, because this is what we are here for.
What we do. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's our jam. It's our jam.
That is our jam.
It's our jam. So, everybody, how to handle people spreading rumors. I trust that you got some incredible insight today, because there were some golden nuggets in here that were very important for you to take note of. Please do them. Let us know what you actually loved from this. But first, before we do the final wrap up, we had a scale of 10 to 0. Were you a 2 as well?
We were both 2s. Yes.
I wrote 2 down. I didn't. Yeah, of course. Okay. I pretty much know what Moira's going to be, because I'd probably be the same as me. Surprise. So, Moira, what number are you now?
Well, we can spread the rumor. Spread the rumor that I'm a 0.
Spread the rumor. I'm a 0 too. I'm a 0. And I was definitely moving as we were talking and we were recapping. But I will say that gratitude literally.
That just leveled it out. Absolutely.
That just
I agree.
Took that to a 0 right away. So let us know where you were, please, because we're curious, and spread the rumor. Tell us, actually, I went from an 8 to a 9. Okay, well, clearly best be wise for us to have a call to get you to that 0, and just gratitude. There you go.
Give us a call.
Gratitude. Yeah, that's the one. But if you liked this, if you really like this, let us know. So the next step is to let us know what tip you loved and share it. If you share it, and even if you got people spreading rumors, share the podcast with them.
Yeah,
do that. Go on, double D you, double D you. That's the thing with me. But look, this has been a beautiful conversation today, and I appreciate where we've gone on this. So if you really like this, we would welcome more listeners, more people who engage with us. That would be fabulous, and more insights of people transforming their worlds out there.
Definitely. Love
That would
this.
mean
This is,
something to us, yeah.
I love this. Really awesome conversation.
Yeah, beautiful. So thank you to the internet, because there was a few little moments there I did
Little
wonder,
hiccups.
and I went, yeah, a few little wonders. And thank you to the listeners for joining us, and thank you to Moira, and thank you to my pen that lasted through this thing, and for creating a new word, yuggly.
Awesome,
Yuggly.
awesome. And then what
Yuggly.
did you said something, goading or something.
Oh, I didn't
Can't
write my one
remember.
down. I
I'll
just
have to
wrote
go
your one
back.
down. Yeah,
Yuggly.
to listen to it. Yeah.
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. Thank you,
Thank you,
listeners.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Moira.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.